And we are back with more 999. We just finished the second class cabin, and we found our way out. We found a key to the Mars door, yes, pretty sure. And so we're moving into the story elements for the next little while. What's the deal with this picture anyway? Santa had only been mumbling to himself, but it drew Lotus's attention. She looked at the picture and paused. I think I've seen this picture before. Where? In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He's a rather interesting theory. I saw this picture in his book. What's this interesting theory? Morphogenetic field, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it is giving me a headache. Santa put his hands on his head as though he were in great pain. Lotus merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued. It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shapes of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye. What part of that isn't difficult exactly? Lotus did not look pleased. Alright, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism. Telepathy? Yes, telepathy. Well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it's close enough for a simple approximation. Santa suddenly burst into laughter. Are you serious? Telepathy? Who do you think we are? Kids from the 70s? I can't believe someone would actually do serious research on something like that. Yes, I agree. Lotus' response was surprisingly curt. Junpei had expected at least some conflict. I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. It's probably just someone latching on to a statistical outlier from some study and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in one of his books. Or in his book. Lotus indicated the picture they'd all been looking at. After a moment, she walked up to the strange picture, examined it, and then spoke. Hey, what do you think this picture looks like? Santa answered first. What do you mean? Isn't it just like abstract or something like that? It's just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. That's it. What about you, Junpei? Doesn't it look like anything to you? I guess it looks like... Alright, so first his man's face. Butterfly. A koi. A dog. A small boat floating in a lake. And Funyarinpa. We're gonna choose this one because this one is amazing. A Funyarinpa? See, I mean, this totally looks like one, here and here. Junpei indicated parts of the picture that look exactly like the other parts. After 3 seconds of silence, Lotus looked at Junpei. What the hell is a Funyarinpa? What do you mean, what the hell is the Funyarinpa? You mean, you don't know? How the hell would I know? How would you not know? That's practically blasphemous. Say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funyarinpa. Goodness, you're such a rude woman. Another 3 seconds of awkward silence went by. Lotus opened her mouth as she shook. Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you. This is the dog. So no one really knows what a Funyarinpa is, but apparently you do not question what it is. So it's a dog. See, like this. Lotus pointed out parts of the picture, and eventually the dog took shape in them. Ah, it looked as though she had a point. It was a dog. Santa also nodded in agreement. So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how that helps us. Lotus nodded and began to speak. A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took 2 similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify initially. But once you figured out the answer, you couldn't see it as anything else. The first picture was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, to make it easier, let's just say it was a picture of this dog. So, their experiment. First, they sent the pictures to other parts of the world where British radio and television didn't reach. To Ireland, the US, Africa, Europe, etc. Then, in each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. All in all, there were roughly 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people were shown the 2 pictures and asked, what does this picture look like to you? The results, in and of themselves, were not terribly interesting. 9.2% of people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. Then, 2 days later, they broadcast a new show. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it can be assumed that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture now totaled over 200,000 people. After another 2 days had passed, they gathered a number of research subjects from areas where British TV and radio did not exist. This time, they were only able to find a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them were people who had participated in the first test. They were, however, given the same test and the same 2 pictures. The results were shocking. 10% of people saw the lady in the lady picture. Previous test yielded 9.2% success rate. The change was not statistically significant. The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people able to successfully find the dog grew from 3.9% to 6.8%, a very significant increase. So, do you understand? Do you realize the significance of this experiment? There was no way the second group could have seen the picture. They lived far away from Britain and couldn't have seen the picture, but even so, it was the only success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What does it mean? Lotus looked back and forth from Junpei to Santa and back again. Normally calm and collected, she looked now as though she were very nearly possessed, and there was something manic about her manner. Santa took an involuntary step backward. Junpei didn't budge and stared straight back into Lotus's eyes. Does this have something to do with that field or whatever it was that you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye? So if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through the field. Psych! Her manner suddenly shifted and Lotus smiled broadly at Junpei and Santa. She waved her hand dismissively, doing her best to laugh the whole confrontation off. Oh, I was just kidding. You really shouldn't take me seriously. Well, I mean, the things I just told you about are true. They really did happen. But the results of that experiment really aren't anything to go by. They could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They're a TV station, after all. At last, it seemed that Santa had gained control of his composure. Right. Man, I gotta admit, you had me there for a minute. I, really thought you were serious. Of course not. Like I told you before, I'm sure it's all just pseudoscience. Okay, right. Santa and Lotus laughed and gave one another jovial claps on the shoulder. Junpei, however, didn't feel so much like laughing. Something felt wrong, unclear. Alright, enough nonsense. We've got the key, let's get out of here. Word. Lotus and Santa walked away from the picture. But Junpei stayed, staring at the picture of the dog. A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Alright, let's go to the hallway. I'll go get June, you guys head to the door. Okay, roger that. Yes, it unlocked. Good job, Junpei. Good, now we can get going. Come on, what are you guys standing around for? Let's get out of here. Come on, Jumpy, let's go. Alright, let's go. So now Taylor officially gotten out of the second class cabin. They stepped through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway. Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, a metal grate extended across the width of the hallway. They took hold and shook, but it refused to move. Nearby was a pair of elevators. It took only a few button presses to determine that the elevators would not respond to their efforts. They could only assume the elevators were not powered. There was only one door left. Well, looks like we don't have any choice. Yeah, sure does. Well then, let's open it. Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. He entered slowly, trying to take in as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly. Oh, so it's a kitchen. Sansa did not look pleased. What were you expecting? Isn't it obvious? The exit. I was hoping this would be the way out of here. You really think it'd be that easy? Yeah, I know, still. As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door. If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier. But don't we need a key for that? Sorry, I guess that wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. As he did. Hey! What's that? Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B-deck. Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him. She ran her finger across it, muttering to herself. I knew it. See? Look. Junpei did as he was told. Santa and Ju moved over to look at the map as well. See? We came in here, if we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate. With her finger, Lotus traced her path on the map. She was right. Satisfied that she'd been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei. He took it and slid the valuable piece of paper back into his pocket. There's a card reader on the right side of the door. And that means the key card is somewhere in here, right? That seems most likely. Alright, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues. Okay. Seek a way out. Alright, so this is going to be a longer part. Okay, let's see. Sink? Nope. Where is the sink? Yep, so. What's on this side? Preparing food. Voucher. Appetizers 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. Ah, letters and numbers. That is going to be hexadecimal. Rolling pin. Some weapons. Ah, get a whetstone. Okay, what's that? Oh, that's the oven or furnace. What's this door? Ah, storage. It's behind door number 1. Rusty knife. I don't be able to use it while it's like this. The knife seemed important to Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use the way it was. It's futile. Futile? You know, a waste. Useless. Pointless. Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up? Oh, no reason, really. I was just thinking about futility. She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question. Why were you thinking about futility? At last she answered. Well, it has something to do with the Titanic. The Titanic? Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted? I actually have. Not the button I wanted. Not the button I wanted. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. There was a novel that had a bunch of stuff in it that described the sinking of the Titanic before it actually sank. Yeah, that's the one. The title of the novel is Futility. It was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But, I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened to the Titanic. Yeah. Well, I heard it was all a hoax. A hoax? I heard this stuff mashed up the Titanic so well, was actually added after it sank. Apparently, the only thing that was the same originally was that a boat ran into an iceberg and sank. But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident. Like I said, that was the first print of the book. 14 years later, the author heard about what happened to the Titanic. Figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed some stuff in his novel, so that it matched the Titanic exactly. Surprised by Junpei's response, June seemed rather taken aback. Really? Really? There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff. For a moment, June looked very unhappy, more so than Junpei thought was normal for such discussion. But it lasted only a moment. With no apparent reason, she suddenly looked up at him alarmed. But, that wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking. It wasn't? Yep. There were 2 other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote 2 stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, 2 ships collided and many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank. I don't know, I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too common for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships. Right. I knew you'd say that. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing? What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about that thing where someone says they're possessed by a spirit? And they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing? Yes. What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull. Okay, let's say hypothetically that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote this thing, nobody had died in the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by spirits of dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff? That's not it. What's not it? Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing. What are you smoking? William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes, 20 years before it happened. He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably. Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay? Huh? But... Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled. Tap tap. Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around to her to pick the knife up from the box. Alright, so we got some stuff about talking, or knowing events before they're going to happen. We're also going to combine this whetstone with a knife to sharpen the knife. Alright, so now we have a knife. So we find the cheese. What do we got here? Bottle of oil. Alright. Where do I use that oil again? This one? Ah! Yes, this one. Alters in place, won't budge. Well, it's oil. Come on, you son of a bitch. Yay! Ha! It's got you, you bastard. You did it, Jumpy. You're so smart. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat. It's cold in here. What is this place? Are you blind? It's a freezer. Said his teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was an even worse situation. Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you. And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in. Whoa, it's really cold in here. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver. Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this. No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now. But Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had recently only come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door. Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob. Ow! It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful. The doorknob had been frozen solid. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured. Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved June aside and pounded against the door. Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door! She wasted no time in responding. What do you want? What's going on? The door won't open. Try opening it from that side, please. Ugh, fine. If you say so. Hold on. Soon they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting as if from exertion. It's no use, it won't budge. You got more people in there, you figure it out. God damn it. Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself, and she was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies. And anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get it moving, we're gonna be permanent residents. Just 2 heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good little look around this room, okay? Alright. They pushed close to one another and began to search. Alright, what's in here? Oh, we got some frozen chicken. Got some dry ice. Oh. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves so as to avoid burning himself. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right? Yeah, it is. Wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again. Hell if I know. How's that gonna help us anyway? Oh, well, I figured I might be able to use it to get out of here. They're about to move on when June spoke up. Carbon dioxide's sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that and it'll turn into gas. Any lower and it becomes a solid. Junpei looked at her dumbfounded. How do you know that? Despite my looks, I'm the clean? Bleh, the queen of random knowledge. Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Or, yeah, don't even know. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb? Yef. Oh, that's white. You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you? June giggled, did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself. Come on, guys, don't you think it's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first. Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, however, was not in a mood to discuss science. Do we want to know how to get why it goes? If we want to science, let's do some science. It did strike Junpei as rather odd. It did seem rather odd to Junpei. Couldn't help but think about it. June answered, "But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns into liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure, it won't turn into a liquid, right?" That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating, and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one. See, that is weird. Water is a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? June replied with an answer that stunned both of them. There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees. Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees? You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees? Yeah. Well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. did his best to warm up up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June. So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called? I heard it's called Ice 9. Of course, it's a 9. Game's all about 9s. Ice 9. Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists discovered that such a substance actually exists. Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9? Or is it water? Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be a liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization and the hardness and the structure are completely different. So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that? Yep. She wasn't finished. Have you heard of the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it, did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin that was en route to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Naturally, scientists worldwide wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin, and began asking for samples of the seed. A seed is, of course, a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be a simple matter. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by the seed crystals begin to crystallize, nearby samples did as well. It didn't end there. After that day, all glycerin in the world began to crystallize naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how much glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating in some way that we can't sense. Junpei. Impressed or annoyed? Let's go with impressed. I was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story. Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9? To his surprise, it was Santa, not June, who answered. What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean? A lot like... That would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing 96 degrees. Man, it'd be the end of the world. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with proper concern. At any rate, we're not going to have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kind of at fault here, but we can't be screwing around here anymore. Seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here. Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search. The story of Ice 9 had him interested, but there would be time to think about that once they got out of the freezer. Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. Alright, now for funsies, we're gonna check out the frozen chicken. It's really hard. It's frozen stiff. Hey, June, can you say that again? Eh? Say it again. It's really hard? Again. It's really hard. Thanks. Something wrong, Junpei? Your face is bright red. No, nothing, I'm fine. If it's that hard, you can probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe we can use it to break something. Jumpy, it's really hard. It's like a hammer. Maybe use it to crush something. Jumpy, you're a chunk of meat. It's rock solid. Oh, I'm not. Don't eat it. Oh, that's a hilarious troll moment by June. I don't think. No, I don't use a hammer to try and smash that. Yeah, thin pipe. I think it's in here. Yes, it is. We have a water bottle. We got some rope. Now I need to combine this and use this as a hammer. Try some pieces. I think I want to combine this first. Nope. Let's combine this and this. Put a piece of dry ice into the water bottle. we're gonna make a little homemade explosive. Combine that and that. Let's just tie a rope on here. Oops. Excuse me. Use it as a bomb. There we go. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door. Junpei pulled out the water bottle, filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in, and then quickly sealed it up tight. The makeshift bomb complete, he tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could manage in the cold. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now? We just need to give it a little tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own. Small rock, small rock. Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across it were a piece of dry ice left over from the large chunk he'd crushed earlier. Alright, this ought to do the trick. He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep from getting burned, and grabbed the chunk of dry ice. It was a pretty good size, about as big as a pool ball. He figured it would be just about the right size. Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere. Osanta and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius? There isn't really anywhere big enough. Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar. Come on, get inside, quick. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Alright, here it goes. 3, 4, 5. You're counting the wrong way. Oops. That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man. Sorry, dude. Alright, for this time. You guys ready? Yes. Whenever you're ready, just throw the damn thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Junpei leapt up out of the cold cellar and ran to the door. Jumpy, the ice in the door, it's gone. Or is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. The blast must have shattered it. Yes, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once. Hooray, we're out! June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move! Senna shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Ow! God damn it! Hot! Fuck! He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest. Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die. Oh, yeah? But you did, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. You might not look like it, but I was really worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else do you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. There's one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. She was right, Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she would have to do was bar the door from the outside. She hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness, or negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Oh, yes, well, that's alright, as long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the girl complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've been just sitting on your fat ass of yours while we're freezing to death. How rude. I was plenty busy. Yeah, how about you put all that energy into something besides bitching. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Hey, Junpei, you forgot something. With that, Santa tossed something about the size of a football in Junpei's direction. Oh, I thought I was going to have to go back and get this. He caught it in midair. What's this? It's the frozen pork. I took it out of the freezer. It looked kind of suspicious. I forgot to grab that. So look, it's good to know that Santa has got your back with that, so I need to put that in here to melt it. Grilling some pork. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's going to burn right away, right? We just got to keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm going to keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm going to try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? Told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we gonna have to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks that way. And knife. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife, yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei, now we can cut the paper. C plus 10 plus F. C plus 10 plus F. C plus 10 plus F. That's hexadecimal. C 9. A is 10. B. C is 12. D. F. F is 16. 12 plus 10 is 16. 10 plus 12 is 16. 22. I feel like I'm missing something. 10 plus 12. 22 plus 16. 38. No. I feel like I've done something wrong. I know it's supposed to be hexadecimal. Soup plates, 10 up. Oh, 15 is F. Okay, I think I'd done something wrong there. Okay, so 15's F. Many of them. Oh, so 10 is 16. Oh, okay, 10 is 16. Okay. Yeah, that's what happened. Right. 10 is actually 16. Hexadecimal, I'm doing it wrong. Yeah. Yes, Lotus is going through hexadecimal, so we go. A is 10 in our numbers, and then when you get to 15, which is the 16th number, then 1 and 0 becomes, so you can have 1A. Yeah. Okay, so that's actually going to be 12, 16, and 15. So that should be 43. Yep. Okay, come on. And once we've got the key and this open, that'll be the part. A bit of a long part than before, but that's okay. Yes, 43 is correct. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Yeah! Door opened. Good job, Jumpy. Saturn keycard. Now we can get out. Yes! I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy. Let's get out of here. Yes, let's go. You found it. Alright, we are out of the kitchen. We've gone through the second class cabin, gotten through the kitchen. And now we get to figure out what's going to happen in the next part. See you then.